Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another amateur review. And this time I am reviewing a machine that I have no right to review, in the sense that I just got it today and I am a complete amateur, and this machine is unfriggin' believable. This is the Minimoog Voyager XL, and this thing is a beast. It is a synthesizing beast. If any of you guys, if anybody who watches these videos is into synthesis, music, or sound synthesis, then they definitely know this brand, and that is Moog. Some people call it Moog. I want to call it Moog because it's M-O-O-G, but I mean, apparently it's called Moog, but whatever. Anyway, this is the Moog Voyager XL. It is a 61 key, weighted key, 3 oscillator, just a crazy synthesizer. It is a crazy synthesizer. The keys are velocity sensitive. They have aftertouch, whatever that is. I don't actually know what aftertouch is. I don't know. But anyway, it has aftertouch. Cool. Having a look at the front of the device, so you can see there's a nice TV screen on here. It's not actually a TV screen. That's a touch sensitive modulator. So if I press the key and touch it, I can mess around with the sound by moving around on there. It's got a mod wheel, and it's got a pitch wheel, and it's got a glide on and off, and it's got a release on and off, and it's got a ribbon up here for touch sensitive, similar to this thing, but you can assign it different behaviors depending on how you patch the thing, and I have no idea how to patch this thing. I don't know. So I'm not going to talk about patching today. I just got this machine only a couple of hours ago, and I don't know how to patch stuff. Somebody who's professional probably looks at this and understands, oh, okay, this goes here and that goes there, but I have no idea. All of these controls down here are for controlling, how the patching behavior works. But again, I don't know how to do it. I haven't done it. But everything on this side, I pretty much know about. Here you've got modulation buses, so that's how you control the modulation, whatever kind of modulation you want to put onto the keys. So the sound, whether it flaps or wheezes or whatever, you've got control over that with these 2 knobs on here. These 2 sets of knobs right here. I don't know so much about this, but enough about it. Here's your LFO, your low frequency oscillator. I think that's what it stands for. That controls like... You can hear that wom, 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 wom. It's actually going to the timing of the light. That light right there, it tells you what the frequency is modulating at. It's pretty cool. Then you can fine tune that, and you can LFO sync that through MIDI, or through the keyboard, or through the envelope, or through just off, whatever, I don't know. Over here is stuff I understand a bit better. You have 3 oscillators on here. It's really awesome. Each oscillator can produce 1 tone or pitch, and then you can combine them to make multiple pitches if you want to. It's kind of cool if you want to do chords. This is a monophonic synthesizer, so it is 1 key press at a time. Only 1 key can be pressed at a time. If I press 2, it just reads 1. Yeah, and it's doing that because it is monophonic. However, that doesn't mean that you can't do chords on here. It's kind of an interesting way that you can do chords, and that is you can tune each of the oscillators to whatever note you want to, so that when you hit a key, it will play a chord. It's kind of cool in that sense. And I found one really easy way to do that is, if you look on here on the front panel here, this is a 3 keyboard continuum. What this does is, if it's on, then oscillator 3 will follow the keys, but it's off. If it's off, let's turn off these oscillators here. No matter which key I press, it always plays the same note, and I can set that note right up here. Is it the octave right there? I can set the note up here. Then I can turn on another oscillator. You can hear oscillator 3 always going doo 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 doo, while oscillator goes doo 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 doo. So it plays in harmony. And then I can turn on the 3rd oscillator. Pretty cool. Now the thing is, a lot of monophonic synthesizers, a lot of digital synthesizers, they can all do this if they have 2 or 3 oscillators. Some synthesizers even have 4 or more. I think that there's some DSI ones that have 4 oscillators. And of course, the more oscillators you have, the more complex you can make chords if it's a mono synth. But then something like a Dave Smith, if it's got 4 oscillators, it's probably also a poly synth, which means you can play chords just on the keys. But it's kind of like a workaround with a monophonic synthesizer that you can create chords just by doing that. It's pretty cool. But the question is, why would you want to buy something like this, a monophonic synthesizer, in the first place? Well, namely because when you've got a monophonic synthesizer, in my books, or at least in my experience, the difference between poly and mono is that a good synthesizer that's mono will put more fatness, more width, more texture into just that one monophonic sound instead of spreading out multiple voices through multiple tunes or multiple notes. So, for example, my Mini-Log, Korg Mini-Log, has a mono and poly mode. If I set it to mono mode, everything sounds really fat. Only one key works at a time, but it sounds really fat and thick and full, like more people are singing at the same time. If I switch it to poly, which means multiple keys can be pressed at the same time, it reserves channels of voice in order to make each note, just in case you want to add notes to it. So that means if you press one key in mono, it's got all the resources going towards that one sound. If you switch it to poly and you press that one note, it's reserving resources for the additional keys that you might press, so things don't sound quite as sweet. So this monophonic synthesizer here, it sounds fantastic. What do you expect for a device of this caliber? I can't really believe that I have one because I'm blown away by it. But it sounds wonderful, and I've showed you just a little bit. I'll show you some different presets in the machine. I haven't gotten too deep into making my own patches yet, but I will. Let me just see if I can save this here. What am I doing? I think I just, okay, well, whatever. I can show you some different presets here. The presets are weird, but it really showcases how warped and bendy this synthesizer can, oscillate the sounds, oscillate the frequencies to create sounds. It's very versatile. Okay, stop. Just a few different presets. That's kind of sweet, little dance-ish kind of pad. I'm not a professional keyboard player, so if I don't hit things quite in note or whatnot, then you know why. I just kind of feel around. I'm at the level of my keyboard playing skills that I can play around until I find what I like and then kind of record it and layer it, one example on top of another. But it takes me a lot of trial and error. My fingers don't naturally know which keys are which note. I don't have that muscle memory, so if I'm trying to show you a little demo and it sounds absolutely horrible, that's why. Because I'm an absolute amateur, just like the title suggests. very squiggly. Yeah. I can adjust behavior of each note through the envelopes here, the filter and the volume envelopes. I can change the attack. Right now it's like that. Change the attack a little bit. Change the decay so that it doesn't go down so quickly. Yeah, anyway, so you can see all that sort of behavior. How about I give you a little rundown of the build quality of the device and you can have a, 360-degree angle look at it. Mod wheels, like I said, you know, everything is made very nicely. The mod wheels are actually plastic. I'm surprised they're not metal. They're plastic, but they don't feel cheap and they don't wiggle around. They move quite nicely, just as you expect. The pitch wheel is very springy, so it moves quickly back to the original position very easily. The machine is heavy. This is a pure oak cabinet here. It's made out of oak, and then you've got your metal panel here. There's very little plastic on this device. Very little, just the knobs perhaps, and maybe this modulation screen, like the touchpad here, or the ribbon. But aside from that, it's a lot of wood and a lot of metal, and it's really friggin' heavy. At least 40 pounds. It's a real big beast, but it feels good, especially the keys. I want to show you this. I'm going to turn off all the oscillators so that you can hear the keys. They're so heavy and substantial. You hear that? It's just like a piano key. They're not light and clicky and hollow. They feel thick, solid, and heavy. And it feels really good because they thump down when you hit them hard. And of course, because they're velocity sensitive, when you hit them hard, it really hammers the sound out. Of course, you can disable that if you want to through settings on here. You can make it so that just on, off. But I personally like the velocity sensitivity. You got buttons and switches all over the place. And the patch bay that I mentioned before, which I promise I'll learn how to use it and make another video of actually playing with the patch bay. It looks really cool, plugging wires in and routing things, but I don't know much about doing it myself. Coming around to the back of the device, as you can see here, I can actually, let's unplug the speaker. I can actually make this thing go down. Just make sure I don't pinch my fingers. Okay, I can make the thing go down there and I can prop it up with multiple levels of propping. So that's pretty cool. The heaviest part of the machine is the control panel. I can notice that by trying to pick it up right now. And it just turned itself off. Shoot. That was weird. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I think I just buggered it. Oh, I unplugged it. That scared me. I put the screen, the panel down and the thing turned off. I thought I just broke it. But I unplugged it. Okay, so yeah, on the back of the device you can see, let's prop this back up again. 1 sec, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Okay, on the back of the device it's actually not very busy for inputs and outputs. You've got your in and out right here, audio outputs. You've got your mixer, out and filter in. I don't know much about that extension, audio in. You've got two mounts for little lamps. It's so weird. So you put a little like elephant or spaghetti lamp sitting there and lighting up the face of it for you. MIDI in, out, and through, and power button and power spot, and that's it. There's not a whole vast array of things or ports to plug in and out of this thing. There's no USB. There aren't like 20 different MIDI and 20 different in and outs. No, it's very simple. It's a machine that's focused on the sound, I guess. But yeah, everything's thick and strong and very well made. It's Moog. Oh yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, that is my review of the Moog Mini Moog Voyager XL. my amateur review, I promise when I learn to play it a bit more, then I will make another video and show you some more of the features. For example, the patching and how to use the ribbon, and maybe even sound creation and how to navigate the menu. But I don't know how to do all that yet, so I'm gonna have to learn myself. As I said, it just got it a couple of hours ago. I'm still in awe that I have one. I should mention that this thing doesn't look so big in videos, because videos, I don't know, maybe I can't see how big things are in videos. When I saw videos of this thing before, I thought it was like, you know, pretty big. But it's massive. It is massive, and it's so heavy. But it feels so good to play, and it sounds fantastic. So, yep. Thanks again. Thank you guys for watching my totally amateur review. And if you guys have any comments, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to, and don't if you don't, and whatever. You know how it goes. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you guys all later. Caedicus out.